Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars The Black Series AT-AT Driver 6-inch figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Black Series. You've got the logo up at the top, the figure's clearly displayed with the red background. Down below you have an image of the character and the name. On the side it tells us this is figure number 31 in the series. And then on the back of the packaging we have a brief bio in multiple languages. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, the only accessory this figure comes with is a regular Imperial blaster. And we've seen this weapon with many of the figures in this line. It's done with just a black plastic, a rubbery type plastic, and you've got that metallic silver piece in the middle. You've got the scope and the magazine on the side. So again, we've seen this weapon many times. Now, it would have been cool, even though we never actually see these guys use weapons in the movie, it would have been cool if they'd given us a weapon that was kind of more of a throwback to the Kenner rifle with the little strap that came with the original AT-AT Driver figure. Just for me personally, I think that would have been a cool extra touch. Here can hold the rifle in either hand. He's actually got a trigger finger for his right hand, so that's really the better hand to put the gun in. But again, he can put it in the left or the right, and he holds it nice and tight. So this figure, I think Hasbro's done a great job with as far as both sculpting and paint applications. It appears to be very movie accurate as far as the colors go, unlike the Imperial Snowtrooper that we looked at the other day. I like the detailing on the head sculpt. You've got the little red Imperial symbols on the helmet like you see in the movie, and then you've got some black here on the top of the helmet as well as on the eyes and everything like we typically see with the Stormtrooper. He's got this little red mark on the one oxygen piece near his mouthpiece. And then he's got the hoses that come up from the helmet. And I like this detailing, and these hoses are separate pieces and they're done with just kind of a flexible plastic. And you've got some metallic silver here where the hoses connect. So I like that. Again, you've got some markings here on the back of the helmet. I like how the back piece looks. So again, just really nice detailing on this figure, and it looks very movie accurate to me. And then he's got this oxygen piece here, and this is actually attached to the figure, this square piece. It's a separate piece. It looks like it's just glued on there, but it is actually attached. It's not like loose. So that does limit some of the head movement, which I'll show you in a moment. And then he's got like the web gear that comes down, and again, this is a separate piece. It just attaches to this chest plate on the front and then on the back, and then they kind of wrap around the legs. And then he's just got the gray for the outfit and then the lighter cream color. Now this off-white color that you see here, this is what I think the Imperial Snowtroopers outfit should look more like, as opposed to that beige color that they used. Again, the gloves are kind of not, I wouldn't say off-white, but they're not a stark white either. Same with the armor pieces. And the armor pieces, these shoulder pads are harder plastic as well as the chest plate. So again, overall, I think this is probably one of the nicer looking figures in this wave. Definitely looks very movie accurate to me. So I was always curious, you know, we see these guys in Empire Strikes Back for just a few seconds, and that's really the only time we ever see the AT-AT drivers. And I was always curious, were these guys also driving the AT-ATs on Endor and Return of the Jedi? I asked because, you know, this armor looks like something you would wear in the snow with the white colors and everything, but on Endor this doesn't really look like something that would fit in there. So I wonder if they have like different colored versions for the drivers, you know, on Endor where they're wearing camouflage or black or brown, something along those lines. I also wondered if these guys were riding around in the AT-ST that we saw in Empire Strikes Back. I know we saw AT-ST drivers on Endor and Return of the Jedi, but those really didn't look like outfits that you'd wear on a snow planet. So I was always curious who was driving the AT-ST in Empire Strikes Back. This figure stands just a little bit over 6 inches tall, maybe about 6 1/4 inches. Here's a comparison with other Imperial Stormtrooper type figures that have been released in the Black Series. So we've got the Snowtrooper, we've got the TIE Fighter pilot, which has a very similar designed outfit. Then we have the regular Stormtrooper and the Biker Scout. For articulation, the head's attached with a ball hinge joint, so he can turn his head pretty good. He does have the hoses that are attached to the head, but he can still turn it pretty good, but you don't want to turn it too much because you don't want to pull those hoses. He can look down pretty good, and he can look up pretty good. You can kind of pivot the head to the left and the right a little bit as well. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder. Now he's got these shoulder pads, which are made with a rubber type material, and they're just attached to the arm, so they're separate pieces, but when you do the arm out, it kind of bends that piece and kind of pushes it out, so you do want to be careful with that. He's got good rotation. He does not have a bicep swivel. He's got a single hinged elbow, so he can only bend his elbow about that much, and then he has rotation at the elbow. He's got rotation at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so good up and down movement there with the hand. He's got a midsection joint where he's got rotation there. He really doesn't have any crunch though, and he can't look back. Legs attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much, and then he can get his leg forward about that much, so pretty good there forward, and he can do his leg out and back. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee, and then he's got the hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement with the feet, and he does have ankle pivot, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I like this figure. I really like the sculpting detail. The paint applications are good, and this figure seems to be very movie accurate. The only real downside to this figure is that we don't have a 6-inch scale AT-AT to go with it. Otherwise though, I think this is a great figure and one you want to add to your collection. So the wave with this figure is starting to hit shelves now. It's out overseas and has started to hit shelves here in the United States at places like GameStop. We'll have a full image gallery up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.